In order to fully heal, you have to learn how to rewire your sense of safety in your nervous system. Because it's your nervous system that's built off of your familiarity. And it's that nervous system that's giving you thoughts as well. It's not just thoughts feeding the body's feeding thoughts back. And so you have to look at your childhood, whatever that dynamic was going on in childhood or whatever you perceived in your story and your takeaway from childhood is that is in your familiarity, in your nervous system. And that's where you're going to unconsciously choose partners to continue to play that out unknowingly, even if it's an unloving situation. If you grew up with invalidating your feelings or you were criticized and not understood, you're going to have a partner that's going to make you feel the exact same way as your childhood because unconsciously that's where we feel safe. We feel safe in the pain that we know than giving up the pain that we know on account of peace that we don't know. Because if you don't know it, you can't validate it and verify that that's what you want because you don't know it. You've never been there. So it's just the fear of that's different than where I am now. So I'm afraid. That's why the ego will say, oh yeah, healing is hard. And you can't deny your feelings. That's the ego afraid to change and afraid to actually find love and shift itself. And so it comes up with things that you're going to project and tell yourself are true and be convinced of, and then so you don't have to heal. So then you don't have to change. So then you remain safe in your familiarity and what you know, even if what you know is not love. You look at people who didn't get maybe emotional understanding or validating, right? That also turns into the fear of vulnerable. They don't know how to be vulnerable because they never taught that. They never learned that. And so they feel uncomfortable sharing their emotions, sharing their thoughts. They feel safer repressing, but that's the lie. And so you also, in the healing journey, have to learn how to regulate your nervous system. So if you're afraid to be vulnerable, start being vulnerable. You have to consciously shift yourself out of habits and saying, no, I'm not going to keep telling myself it's bad to do this and it's scary to do this. I got to take steps to do it, to teach my own system and my own self. That is a lie. So instead of blaming the partner and running away as your strength, as the solution, where am I doing this and how can I be honest and gracious with myself to see deep within? And so other practices to help you do this would be meditation. Meditation helps you create space and thoughtlessness so then you can create a sense of peace built off of nothing in your nervous system. Because the ego will always want to grab something to feel safe. I got to remove this. I got to add this. I got to do this. I got to not do this. I got to repress this. The system in your nervous system can feel safe off of nothingness because that's the safety. True safety lies within us. It's not really something we find outside of us. So you have to teach yourself you can feel peace and love for no reason, for no outside circumstance. And you have to do that in a daily way to bring yourself, nervous system to calm and peace so you can teach yourself to hold that. So it's walks in the park. It's looking at the horizon or just the sunset. It's finding ways where you can be at peace and be grateful and be aware of it without thought driving it. And so if you can practice that over time, you'll create more space and familiarity and peace for yourself.